Dear students, in today's session we are going to study about user-defined functions. So what is function? A function is a self-contained block of code which performs a particular task. The meaning of self-contained block means that a set of statements, it performs one particular task. So see, functions can be classified into two categories. First category is library functions. The library functions are not required to be written by us. For example, what we have used main, printf, square root, all these are the built-in functions. They are the library functions. The second category is the user-defined functions. The user-defined function has to be developed by the user at the time of writing a program. The user-defined function is a self-contained block of code which performs a particular task. The need for user-defined functions. So why we need this self-contained block of statement? To simplify a complex problem. So if you have a complex problem, we can create self-contained blocks where each block will be solving one particular task. To simplify the task of debugging, testing and maintaining. So if you have divided your complex program into multiple tasks, then it is easier to find the mistakes, errors, and to do the testing and maintaining is easy. If a program is divided into functional parts, then each part may be independently coded and later it can be combined together into a single unit. It is easy to repeat certain calculations at many points throughout a program using functions. Say for example, if you have written one set of code which is being repeated in your program many number of times, then we can use the functions easily. Instead of writing the code many times, we can easily use the same set of code wherever we need. It facilitates top-down modular programming. Here, the high-level logic of the overall problem is solved first, while the details of each lower-level functions are addressed later. The length of the source code can be reduced by using the user-defined functions. And it is easy to locate and isolate the faulty function for further investigations. A function may be used by many other programs as well. A multi-function program. A function is a self-contained block of code which performs a particular task. Once a function has been designed and packed, the inner details of the operations are invisible for the rest of the program. Any function call can call any other function. A function call can call itself, it is called recursion. A function can be called more than once. You can call it any number of times. The functions can be placed in any order. You can type or write the functions in any order. We need not maintain the functions in their order. Elements of user-defined functions. The functions are classified as one of the derived data type in C, and function name must be a valid identifier. So we have seen what is identifier. It is a name given to array, function or variable. So it has to be starting with either underscore or an alphabet. It can use digits and underscore. Special character cannot be used. We cannot use the white space. So these are the rules that also need to be maintained for providing the function name. So which are the elements of function? The function elements are, the first one is the function definition. The second is function call and the third is the function declaration. The definition of the function. So the first element itself is having 6 sub-elements. So function definition is also known as function implementation. It will include the elements like function name, function type, list of parameters, the local variable declaration, function statements and a return statement. All these 6 elements, they are grouped into 2 parts. First one is the function header, which is having the elements function name, function type and list of parameters. And the next three elements, the local variable declaration, function statement and the return statement, the three together sets the part function body. So here is the general format of function definition. So function type, function name, parameter list. This forms the function header. Local variable declaration, executable statements, that is body of the function, and the return statement. This constitutes the function body. And we have the opening floor brace and closing brace. The function header. So what do we have in function header? The function header, we have the function type, function name and the parameter list. For example, we can have float is the function type, quadratic is the function name, int a, int b, int c, they are the parameter list. So this forms the function header. And here semicolon is not used at the end of the function header. So what is function type? The function type specifies the type of value the function is expected to return. So if you are calculating a quadratic, here in this example, the quadratic, the body of the function is going to perform the quadratic calculation and it is going to return a float value. So that is the type of the function. If the return type is not explicitly mentioned, by default, it will take it as integer type. In case if the function is not returning any value, then we have to specify as void. The second component of the function header is function name. Function name is any valid identifier. The name should be appropriate to the task performed by the function. You have to give some meaningful name for the function. The formal parameters. The formal parameter list declares the variable that will receive the data that will be sent by the calling program. They serve as input data. The parameter list contains the declaration of variables that is separated by comma and they are surrounded by the parenthesis. The declaration of the parameter variable cannot be combined. We cannot have a declaration of parameters like this in the function. This is illegal. Int a comma b is not allowed. We have to specify it as int a comma int b. A function that do not receive any values from the calling program, it is indicated as empty parameters list or we can use void. Either we can use empty parameter opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, or either we can specify void inside the parameter list. The next component is the function body. So function body contains the declaration of and statements that are necessary to perform a required task. The body enclosed in braces contains three parts. Function declaration, which specifies the variables that are required for the function. Function statements that perform the task of the function. And return statement, which returns the value evaluated by the function. If a function does not return any value, we can omit the return statement. The return values and their types. A function may or may not send back any values to the calling function. If it does not, then it is done through the return statement. So we can use the return statement to return a value. So here return statement can take two formats. The first one is the plain return, which does not return any value. It acts as similar to the closing brace of a function. When a return is encountered, the control is immediately passed back to the calling function. For example, if error, if you want to stop the execution of the function, we can use return. The second form of return statement is the expression. It returns the value of the expression. So let us take a function, for example, int mul int x comma int y. Here int is the return type, mul is the function name. The int x and int y are the two parameters. We have declaration of variables, local variables, and the executable statement and the return statement. So int p is equal to x star y, return p. So this p should be matching with the type int, that is the type of value that is going to return. It returns the value of p, which is the product of the values x and y. We can also write it as return x star y instead of taking these three instructions. We can complete this task with only one instruction also. A function may have more than one return statement. This situation arises when the value returned is based on certain condition. For example, if the condition x is less than or equal to 0, then we may want to return 0. Otherwise, we need to return 1. So it can take one or more parameters to be returned or values to be returned based on the condition. The function call. The functions can be called by simply using the function name followed by the list of parameters, if any, enclosed within the parentheses. For example, variable equal to function name followed by the arguments ending with semicolon. That is the way to call the functions. So the function call, here the main method, the main function is written. Inside the main function, we have the declaration of one variable int y. The function call syntax is y is equal to the variable name equal to mul, that is the name of the function, 10, 5, they are the actual parameters. So the parameters that is present in the function call is the actual parameters, that is ending with semicolon. Now, when we encounter this instruction, the control of the execution, program execution, will be transferred to that function, int mul, int x, int y. The value of 10 will be copied to x and 5 will be copied to y. Int p is the variable declaration. The executable statement p is equal to x star y. Return p, which is return the multiplied value of 10 and 5, that is 50. So the value of p will be returned. When the return statement gets executed, the control of execution will be transferred back to the calling function. The main is the calling function. The main function is the calling function from where we call the function mul. And mul is the called function. When the compiler encounters a function call, the control is transferred to the function mul. The function is then executed line by line and the value is returned when a return statement is encountered. And that value will be assigned to the variable y. The function call sends two parameters, that is two integers 10 and 5 to the function, which will be assigned to the variable x and y respectively. The function computes the product x and y and it assigns the result to the local variable p and then it returns the value 50 to the main where it is assigned to a variable y again. The third element is the function declaration. The function declarations tells the compiler about function name, return type and the parameters. The syntax of the function declaration is the same as the function header with the semicolon to end. Return type, function name and the parameter list ending with semicolon. For example, int max, int num1, int num2 ending with semicolon. Or in function declaration, we can eliminate or we can avoid the name of the parameter. We can just specify only the type of the parameter. Int max, int ending with semicolon is also allowed. Let us take an example of max. So we begin the program with hash include stdio.h. So as we said, before the main, we need to write the declaration of the function. So int max, int num1, comma int num2 ends with semicolon. Then we write the main, void main, the local variable declarations int a and int b with the values 10 and 20, and int return, which will return the value, which is the maximum. Calling a function, we call the function return is equal to max a comma b. So the a value of a and b are the actual parameters that we are passing to the function max. Now the control of execution will be transferred to the function. So the two values that are transferred will be read to num1 and num2. The value of a will be copied to num1 and the value of b will be copied to num2. We declare a local variable int result, and this is the set of instructions, that is executable instruction. So if num1 is greater than num2, result is equal to num1, else result equal to num2. We found the maximum among the two numbers. Return result. When the return statement gets executed, the control is transferred back to the function call. That is, the value that is returned, the result value will be saved into ret, R-E-T. And the next we are going to print the maximum value, that is the value of return. This is how a function can be used to do the executions. Thank you, dear students.